All right, let's talk about something you've probably got in your kitchen right now. Instant noodles. I mean, they're everywhere, right? Super cheap, super fast, and for a lot of us, they're the ultimate go-to comfort food. So let's get into it.
And you really can't argue with how popular they are. Think about it. That late-night study session in college, a super quick lunch at the office. Instant noodles are a total staple. They're just so incredibly convenient and easy. It's no wonder they're a go-to for millions of people.
But all that convenience, it comes with some questions, doesn't it? Are they really just a harmless, quick bite, or is there a hidden cost, for our health? That's exactly what we're going to unpack. Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to start with the basics. What are we actually eating when we eat instant noodles? And why do they cause such a stir?
The process is actually pretty straightforward. It's basically flour, salt, and palm oil all mixed together to make the noodles. Then they get steamed, dried, and packed up with, let's be honest, the most important part, that little flavor packet. And that packet, it's usually loaded with salt, seasonings, and often MSG.
Okay, so before we dive into all the stuff you've probably heard about why they're bad for you, let's talk about something that might actually surprise you. Turns out, there are some upsides. So take a look at these nutrition facts. The first thing that jumps out is the calorie count, right? 188 calories for a serving. That's actually lower than a lot of other pasta meals you can buy. But, and this is a big but, look at the fiber and protein. Not a lot there. Just under a gram of fiber and only 4 grams of protein. Keep that in the back of your mind. We're definitely going to circle back to that.
And here's something else you might not know. A lot of instant noodles are actually fortified. That means they add in extra micronutrients. So one serving can give you a pretty decent chunk of your daily thiamine, folate, manganese, and iron. There was even a study that found people who ate these noodles got 31% more thiamine than people who didn't. Kind of interesting, right?
All right, so they're not all bad. They've got a few things going for them. But now it's time to flip the coin. Let's get into the nutritional downsides, the stuff that gives these noodles their, less than stellar reputation.
And this right here, this is what I call the serving size trap. Remember that nutrition label we just looked at? That was for one single serving. Now, let's be real for a second. Who eats half a pack of instant noodles? Nobody. Most of us eat the whole thing. And because these packages almost always have 2 servings, it completely changes the entire nutritional picture. So let's talk sodium. When you eat the entire package, which again, most of us do, that sodium number just skyrockets. You're looking at 1,722 milligrams. To put that in perspective, the recommendation for a whole day is no more than 2,300 milligrams. So with just one package of noodles, you've pretty much blown most of your sodium budget for the entire day.
And why does that even matter? Well, tons of sodium like that is directly linked to high blood pressure. And this is especially true for people who are what's called salt sensitive. Over time, that can really up your risk for things like heart disease and stroke. So yeah, for a lot of people, this is a really big deal.
And then there's the whole MSG debate, monosodium glutamate. Now, officially, the FDA says it's generally recognized as safe, but it's still super controversial, A lot of people eat it and they're totally fine, but then you have others who swear it gives them headaches, nausea, muscle tightness, that kind of thing. It's really one of those food additives where your mileage may vary. Okay, let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here. Research shows that it's not just about the noodles themselves. People who eat them frequently often have a lower quality diet overall. We're talking less protein, less calcium, less vitamin C, all the good stuff. And get this, one really big study found that for women, eating instant noodles just twice a week was linked to a higher risk of metabolic syndrome. And that's a whole bunch of issues that can lead to serious problems like heart disease and diabetes.
So we've seen the good, the bad, and the, very, very salty. So what's the verdict? Let's pull this all together and figure it out. The bottom line is actually pretty simple. Like with so many other convenience foods, it really all comes down to moderation. Having instant noodles once in a while, probably not going to hurt you. But because they're so low in important nutrients, they absolutely shouldn't be a regular thing in your diet.
But look, if you are going to have them, there are some super easy ways to upgrade your noodle game. First, see if you can find healthier versions, like whole grain or lower sodium options. Then, and this is key, think of the noodles as just the base. Toss in some veggies, fresh, frozen, whatever you have, to get more fiber and vitamins. And definitely add some protein. A simple egg, some leftover chicken, or tofu can make a huge difference. All of a sudden, you've taken a basic snack and turned it into a way more balanced meal.
And that really leaves us with this question, right? Maybe it doesn't have to be a choice between what's convenient and what's nutritious. With just a few simple changes, maybe it's really about finding a smarter way to do convenience. Just something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.